Hello everyone. There is a saying which says that we don't listen to understand, we listen to reply back, which should not be the case. We have to understand the concept, then only we have to reply if it is required. Okay. In the last class, we have seen about the data types. Today we shall continue the same. A small part is remaining in that. Before that, we shall just recall whatever we have seen in the last class. We started with the variable. What's a variable? A variable is an element which is allowed to change during the execution of the program, and it can take any value of a specified type. Then, after that, we have seen how to define a variable. While defining a variable, first we need to mention the data type, then the variable name, then the semicolon. That is type. Type is a data type, data underscore type, variable name, semicolon. Semicolon is mandatory or it's compulsory whenever we are declaring any variable, because we are following the syntax. And also here, see, we have written underscore. Here also we have written underscore. A reason is that while in case of identifiers in the first chapter itself we have seen there are some rules. Wherever we are going to define something, it should be made up of single word, isn't it? If we leave a space, it becomes two words. We can't have two words. And suppose we use plus hyphen here, that becomes a special character. We are not allowed to use a special character. Only character that's allowed here apart from the numbers and the alphabets is underscore. That's why if you see, now the question is, can't we write variable and name together, which will make it a single word? It's possible, but whenever we are writing something like this, it is more understandable, isn't it? If you write variable name together, of course it becomes only one word, but when you look at that particular word, understanding becomes somewhat difficult, right? So here it's clear. Here also data underscore type, it makes it as a single word. Okay. Of course, when we are writing the example, it is a single word itself, int, some x, semicolon. We are declaring a variable x which is of type integer, right? Okay. Then, after that, we have seen how to initialize a variable. What is meant by initializing a variable? Initializing a variable is giving the value when we are defining the variable itself, right? For example, int x is equal to 50, you are declaring the variable as well as you are assigning a value for that. See, this particular statement could be written in two lines also. We can write something like this: int x, then x is equal to 50. This and this is the same. But here we have done the same work in two lines, whereas here in a single statement we have completed our task, right? Then after that, what's meant by data type we have seen. What's a data type? Whenever we are declaring a variable, we will specify what type of data it is. Not only that, which are the operations that could be done on that particular variable, right? Data type defines that particular statement also. Then, whenever we are defining a variable, it may be of any data type, what actually it is? That is a location in the memory, isn't it? If we write int x, what happens in the memory? In the memory, there will be a location. Where we are going to store this particular variable x. If we have written x is equal to 50, we are just recalling whatever we have done in the previous class. Int x is equal to 50. There will be a location where we are going to store this x, this x, and the value of x will be 50, and each and every location will be having its own address. For example, 0001, 0002, 0003, right? So whenever we are talking about a variable, there are three things with it. One is the name of the variable, then the address of the variable, then the value of the variable. These three things we have seen in the last class. Then after that, which are the different data types we have seen? Which are the different data types? Basically, when we write about the data types, first one is fundamental. It's also called as a basic data type. Second one is derived or complex. Derived or complex data type. Of course, there is one more data type, that is user defined. When we draw the figure, we shall draw that. Otherwise, if you remember these two, it's enough. Two more questions can be asked. Mention which are the different data types. First one is fundamental or basic. Second one is derived or complex. After that, again, when we talk about fundamental data types, we have seen, it's important for us, the fundamental data types. Mainly there are 5 types. Of course, 4 plus 1, 5. They are character, integer, float, double, and void. Character occupies only 1 byte. Here we can write byte, only 1 byte. Integer, double of that, 2. Float, double of that, so 4. Double of float, that is 8. And void doesn't occupy any space in the memory, so 0 we can write, or empty set, or empty bytes we can say, or it returns empty values. Then the question is, which are the values that we are going to enter for the characters? Whenever we are going to talk about the character, any character which is written within single quotation, A, yes, even 5 can be written. If you are entering a value 5 within single quotation, it's not integer, it becomes character. Try to understand. Once we have written within single quotation, suppose we have written 5 within single quotation, that cannot be used for the calculation, that will be treated as a character. So whenever we are entering the character, equivalent value in ASCII will be written. Different computer codes we have seen, in that one type of code is ASCII, isn't it? Whenever we are entering any of the character which is written within single quotation, that will be converted to equivalent ASCII character. ASCII character will be written in numbers. We have seen that in computer codes. Then here in some books, or even if you write, the range here is 128 to 127 for signed, or 0 to 256 we can write where it is unsigned. Don't worry about this for the time being, later we shall see that. Then, which are the operations that could be done on the character? Whenever we enter the numbers, we can go for the calculations, but here we can't have any calculations for the characters, even though we have written 5 within single quotation, that already we have seen. If you have written that within single quotation, that will be treated as character, it cannot be used for the computation purpose. So here the operations that we can have are only the input the character and output the character. Okay, then coming to the integer, it occupies 2 bytes. Here any number which is full number without any fraction is taken as integer. 5 minus 10, 1000, 5000, minus 10,000, etc. comes under integer. Which are the operations plus, minus, multiplication, division, as well as modulo division, that is integer division. Integer division we can have. The range we have seen -3 to 6, 7, 8 to plus 3 to 7, 6, 7. That is the range for the integer. When we talk about the float values, after these operations, all operations we can do in the float except the integer division, that is modulo division, because we are going to talk about the float. What is the float? Float is a number which is having the fractional part in it, like 2.5, 0.236, etc., etc. Wherever we are going to have the fractional part, we call it as float, right? When we talk about the operations except the integer division, that is this particular symbol will be used later on. We will see that is percentage symbol. Percentage symbol we cannot have here, as well as that is plus, minus, multiplication and division, and the range will be 3.4 into 10 to the power minus 38 to 3.4 into 10 to the power 38, or we will represent with respect to e also. Instead of writing 10 to the power, we can write 3.4 e minus 38. When we talk about the double, here also the operations will be same, plus, minus, multiplication and division. The range will be minus 1.7, easy to remember, half of this, into 10 to the power, here it is 38, so here 308, a 0 will be added in between, that's all, to 1.7 into 10 to the power 308. Here also we can write 1.7 e to the power whenever we are going to write. Then comes the void. As we have seen, void doesn't occupy any space in the memory. If you are not returning any value back, as we have seen yesterday, whenever we are writing the functions, there is a concept called as function. Functions, whenever we are writing the functions, of course we are familiar with the void main. In the beginning, whenever we are starting a program, initially we will write the header files, then we will open the flower bracket, but before opening the flower bracket we will write the void main. So here we will write void. In C++, there is a syntax which says that whenever we are writing a function, before the function we should write the return type. What type of data this function is going to return, because here we are going to open the bracket, we will write some lines, then we are going to close that. So this becomes a function now. Every function will be having something where we are going to mention the data type of the function. If the function is not returning any value back, we will write it as a void. If it is returning integer, we will write int here. So if the function is not going to return any value back, then we will write it as void. In detail we are going to talk about that later. For the time being, you just remember this 5. 4 plus 1. Number of bytes easy to remember, because character is 1, next one will be double of that, the next one will be double of this one, the next one will be double of this one. Only thing is that for void it will be 0. Okay, that's about fundamental data types. Fundamental data types are important for us because whenever we are going to talk about other data types, all other data types are made up from fundamental data types. That's why, that is the reason to recall the same concept once again. Otherwise, yesterday we have seen that in the previous class. Next one will be derived data types. Or before that, let us just go through modifiers, something called as modifiers. In modifiers, we have signed, unsigned, short and long. Of course, whenever these 4 will work with integer. Integer, of course, we have seen it occupies 2 bytes in the memory. 2 bytes in the memory. Of course, when we talk about a byte, 1 byte is equal to 8 bit. 8 bits. That's why whenever we are inputting an integer, it will occupy 2 bytes. Signed, unsigned. See, signed and unsigned, what is the difference? In some of the cases, we don't want to have the sign. It's not required. For example, we have seen about the storage allocations. In the memory, when we write the allocations, we will be having the numbers starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. Is it possible to have negative value for the address, that is for the storage allocations? It's not possible, isn't it? We will be having only positive numbers. For example, the money, whenever we are going to pay some money, we will talk about only plus values. There won't be minus, isn't it? So here, unsigned, if you, in general, it's whenever we are going to write unsigned, it's unsigned integer itself. If we can write only unsigned also, no problem, or we can write unsigned int, we can write one and the same. So unsigned, all these 4, I repeat, all these 4 will work with the integer. So unsigned integer, whenever we are going to define a variable as unsigned integer, it's understood that that particular variable cannot take negative value. That's about unsigned. Then what about signed? If it is possible to have plus as well as minus values, then we can define it as signed integer. That is signed integer. Then short integer and long integer. In integer, we have seen that the range we have seen minus 32,000 something to plus 32,000 something. When we talk about integer, minus 32,768 to 32,767, this will be the range. If it goes outside that particular range, for example, if it reaches, if the variable is 40,000, is it possible to get that particular value? 40,000 comes out of this range, so it will be out of the range. Whatever variable we have defined as integer cannot take the value 40,000 when we have defined it as integer. In those cases, so even suppose that's the case, whatever answer that you are going to get will be wrong. That's why we have to go for something called as a long integer. Whenever we are going to define it as a long integer, since integer occupies 2 bytes, if we define it as a long integer, it will take double the size of the integer. So even if the variable takes 40,000 or 50,000, in that case we don't have any problem and variable can take that particular value. Then short integer. If we define a variable as short integer or short, in general integer will occupy 2 bytes, right? Short integer will occupy 2 bytes only. If it is possible to accommodate or if it is possible to represent that particular number with respect to 1 byte, it will occupy 1 byte, otherwise it will occupy 2 bytes if we have defined it as short integer. That's about the modifiers. Next one will be the derived data types. Derived data types. Derived data types are made up of basic data types. Mainly here we have arrays, functions, pointers, and a reference. Of course, all these concepts will be dealt in detail in the coming chapters. These are all different chapters, so in detail we shall see later on. Apart from derived data types, of course, whenever we are talking about data types, mainly it's divided into two. One is basic data type. In basic data type, we have seen which are the 5 different types, and the other one is a derived data type. Coming to derived data types, these are the derived data types. There is one more that is called as user defined. If the question is asked which are the different data types, it's enough if you write fundamental and derived. Also we have user defined data types. User defined. Here in user defined data types we have the structure, union, class and enumerated. Again, user defined data type is also made from basic data type. Derived data type is also made from basic data type. Even these concepts we shall see in detail later on. In this, enumerated we shall see for the time being. So in general, C++ data types is divided into basic data type, basic or fundamental data types, derived data type, and user defined. But these two we can club in general. That's why fundamental data types and user defined data types, so, or derived data types, it comes together. In basic data types, which are those that we have seen? Character, then integer, character integer, float, double, as well as void. In derived data types, arrays, functions, pointer and reference. And in the last one, that is under user defined, structure, union, class and enumerated. This way we can write. This is pictorial representation of data types. After which, enumerated, for this one example is given, we shall try to understand that, because all these different user defined data types also in detail we are going to study. Class, of course it will be there in the second year for us. Arrays, functions, pointers we shall study in this year itself. Now when we talk about enumerated data type, is a user defined data type where we are having something called as enumerators, which are named constants. We shall see the example and the syntax. Directly we shall write one example. Later it will be easy for us to understand what is the syntax of that. Whenever we are talking about enumerated data type, it starts with a keyword called as enum. Just like integer, if it is integer we will write int. If it is enumerated data type, we will start with enum, which says that it is enumerated. Then write the name of that particular variable. Let it be choice. Enum, name, then inside the list, inside the bracket, write the enumerators. Enumerators are labeled constants. We will get confused here. Variable is also there, constant is also there. What's that? I will explain that. For example, let's write very bad, satisfactory, good, very good. Very good. We shall close this. Here, these are all enumerators. Very bad, satisfactory, good, very good. These are all enumerators. That means this choice can have these values. But these values are having a fixed values. So, whenever we write something, it starts from 0. So, very bad will be 0, bad will be 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Automatically, very bad will take the value 0. It starts from 0, not from 1. Remember that. Bad will take 1, satisfactory will take 2, good will take 3, and very good will take the value 4. That's why it's a variable. It can take any value out of this. But these things are fixed. Very bad in the sense always it will have 0. Bad will have 1. Satisfactory will have 2. Good will have 3. Very good will have 4. So choice may be any one of these. Right? That's why these are the enumerators which are having fixed value. That's why they are constants. These are the constants. Very bad cannot have 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Very bad will be having always the value 0. Bad will be having 1. So in general, when we write the syntax, how we can write the syntax? Usually we will write the syntax, then we will go for the example. But here, in order to make it easy to understanding, we have written the example first. Now we shall write the syntax. It will be enum. This will be, in general it will be written as tag. This will be enumerator lists. So this is about enumerated data type. Whenever we are having enumerated data type is user defined data type, where we have something called as enumerators, which are named constants. It's having a name here, isn't it? Now we don't want 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We want some other value. We want to assign a value. For example, instead of 0 for very bad, we want to have some 10. In that case, what we need to do is we have to assign the value there itself. So for example, We shall write one more example here. ENUM size we shall write foot size, for example, whatever it is. Small is equal to 10, medium is equal to 15, and large is equal to 20. Otherwise, if you don't assign the value, it will start from 0, then 1, 2, etc. How many names you have here, according to that it will increment by 1. In this case, of course, here also it's enumerated data type with the name size, where we are having the small, medium and large. Now small won't have the value 0 because we are assigning a value 10. So small is equal to 10, medium is equal to 15 and large is equal to 20. If we want to assign the value with an assignment operator, we need to write the value there itself. Otherwise it will start from 0. That's about enumerated data type. That's all about data types. Thank you.